Eternal, efficient, feminine, masculine, a lover, a fighter, and a romantic. G-A-Y, gay, queer. Sydney, Australia, 1988. The 1st of August at 9:35 p.m. Late, cold, pushing, screaming, crunching, blood, sweat, and tears. 16 hours and then my head got stuck. A baby. An inconvenient way to enter the world, I am sure, from what I've been told about labour. None of it's really that convenient. My mum and dad, young, beautiful, and so ready to be parents, born to do it. Mum is Australian, and actually born in the same hospital as me. And, well, is white Australian, which is new Australia. And I'd like to take a moment to pay respect to the traditional custodians of this land. Dad is English, from Wiltshire, or the West Country, as they call it, but became a 10-pound pom and moved to Australia in the 1960s. So hospital to home. Dad had to work, so his best mate, Changa drove Mum and I home from the hospital. Now Changa became a Jehovah's Witness shortly after I was born, and my parents didn't speak to him for like 25 years. Something to do with him not coming to my first birthday party and candles or something. Anyway, I would later attribute this experience to my lifelong avoidance of any organised religion. So home, 30 Ocean View Road, and from our house we could walk to the beach. And I would walk familiar streets with familiar beats, rapping, singing, writing songs, my Walkman with 90s guitars and pop songs for hours and weeks and days, wondering nothing and everything, and at the same time knowing something in me one day would challenge other people, disrupt the peace. I thought I might be a Spice Girl when I grew up, or a frontman like Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, later Marilyn Manson. Those suburban streets that led to the beach, full of sunshine and status quo, oppression that existed before, after, and now, and I still don't know what to do with it. It's still there, lingering, taunting me every time I go back, no matter what law is passed, or how many times my dad says I love you. Salt water and scratchy skin. Sunshine for days, days that turns into weeks, that turns into months, an endless summer. The beach. Submission. Not that kind. Not yet. Submission to the ocean. The way that it takes you in and turns you around, molecules and atoms all tumbling, turning around, submerged, emerged, cleansed, revived, peace. Going under and holding my breath, and coming back up to breathe. Suffocating, drowning myself to breathe. Fish, lobster, abalone, guts of fish, scales and pippies. My father, the fisherman. Actually, he's a fireman, but for fun, he's a fisherman. The smell of barbecue. Backyard parties every single weekend. Sips of Tad's beer. A Stedfords in the living room every night. And a bedtime story too. An endless summer. Not so flawed, not yet. Free, young, youth, running and hiding in sand dunes, sticking my fingers into sea anemones, cutting my feet on barnacles, jumping off rocks and taking a leap of faith into something bigger. I always knew the existence of my identity would be a part of something bigger, even if I didn't know what yet. Bigger than this living rock of rock and roll and steel and heartbeats and drums and hopes and dreams and mum and dad and grandma and granddad and blue and green and big like the ocean. It's a riptide taking me out to sea. It's all around me and encompassing everything that I am. But I'm not scared. It's a womb that holds me, takes me and feeds me until eventually I am birthed, breathing heavy but unharmed. The ocean, an endless summer, every year.
What are the rules that guys should be?
That homosexuality is forbidden.
What sort of characteristics do you think you need to have to be a man?
Not being a wuss. Toughening up.
Stop being a fucking pussy.
If they educate children the way they think while they're young, what's our society going to be like in 20, 30 years' time?
Have heaps of muscles, be strong.
How to be a boy? How to walk like a boy? How to talk like a boy?
How to fight like a boy. How to fuck like a boy.
Let me see you put your dick in the air. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air.
As a kid, you're given a book to read, a manual, Society's Guide on How to Be a Man 101. It's got chapters on appropriate vocal tone and inflection, hobbies and interests, gesticulation and mannerisms, and sexual preferences. Or preference.
Mustache, yeah, yo. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air.
There's a whole chapter on how to treat women by never befriending them and only ever aiming to fuck them. There's a whole section on the power of your penis and the entitlement that brings. And my personal favourite, toxic masculinity and how to infect everyone with it. But it's fine, because boys will be boys, right?
Stop.
Right.
You don't know. You need to live. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air. Dick in the air. Let me see you put your dick in the air.
Balls and dick, two balls and one dick. Balls, balls, dick, dick, balls and dick. Balls and dick, two balls and one dick. Balls, balls, dick, dick, balls and dick. As a queer kid, the way society looks at you is as if you haven't pressed a foot and follow the guidelines. Whose juice is this?
Whose juice is this?
I need a cigarette.
I read How to Be a Man 101 and I didn't agree with it. So the spell of childhood innocence was broken early for me. 8 and excited. 8 and I naturally, happily and subconsciously started to formulate my own ideas about things that I liked and things that I didn't. Dictated by things outside of the How to Be a Man rulebook. What I didn't realise was the homophobic patriarchal society I lived in was going to do everything that it could to tell me the things that I liked were wrong. And I'd be punished for it. Because in Australia, The land of sunshine, hopes, dreams, and smashed avocado on fucking sourdough. There is a blueprint. You see, Australia's brand is that of the laid back and the liberal, but it's all a fucking front, because it's all on the terms of the straight and narrow. 8 and excited. 8 and watching Full House. 8 and watching John Stamos in Full House. 8 and I said, he's handsome. 8 and my mum said, boys don't call other boys handsome. Stop. What? Something broke when those words were said. Even in all her love. A bubble burst when those words were said. Things I like are not okay. Outsider alert. Shit. Shame. Quick. Take that embarrassment and put it in your pocket. Make sure that no one sees it. No. Not good enough. Run. Through the house, out the back door, into the backyard. Run all the way down the back. Dig a big hole. Dig deep, 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 deep down. Make sure you bury that shame, vulnerability, and embarrassment so that no one can see it. Phew. Lesson learned. Don't express feelings about men openly, particularly if they're sexual. But then, internalization.